Hey guys, what's going on? We're back with another PvP solo shuffle video as Enhancement Shaman playing Stormbringer Elemental Blast. And this was a kind of spicy lobby, not gonna lie. Um, but I have tried the Primordial Wave build. I didn't quite like it, but I don't think I gave it a fair enough shot, so I'm probably gonna try it again, and I'm also gonna test out Deeply Rooted Elements. But anyways. Let's get on to the match. So it's myself, a Ret Paladin, and a Resto Shaman versus a Frost DK, a Havoc Demon Hunter, and a Resto Druid. So the main goal here is to make it to the 2-minute mark. I think you can all agree that as an Enhancement Shaman, your biggest point is the 2-minute mark of the arena. But the toughest part is making it there with this type of lobby. And I'm sure you all know these all four of our specs probably have the highest burst output that the whole game has, I think, right? So it's quite a terrifying match. It's a bit unfortunate for the Resto Druid, mainly because Resto Druids aren't really known for their burst healing, but he did quite well. But anyways, I am running Counter Strike Totem instead of Grounding Totem. Reason being is I felt like I could get some value out of it, and I certainly did, but not as much as I was hoping for. But it's definitely more value than I usually get. But anyways, our main focus here is kind of the DK. The main reason why is DK doesn't quite have the defense quality as a Havoc Demon Hunter or the mobility of a Havoc Demon Hunter. He's just a terrifying monster. Where the Demon Hunter has Blur, which definitely ignores a lot of our stuff, and a lot of our damage we can dish out onto the DK without him dodging anything like that. So it's quite straightforward. And you'll notice the entire time I am hitting Greater Purge almost on cooldown, trying to get as many hots off as possible. But you can see here we're coming up to the Ascendance. We're coming up 20 seconds left, and that's what I'm just praying for, playing very defensive, getting ready, making sure no cyclones are going off and stuff like that. Just trying to help my healer and stall out the match as much as I can. And here I get a nice tier set proc, which puts a lot of pressure on them, which is great. So there is his Tree of Life proc or whatever. I think it's from his wild thing. I'm not sure. So I was like, okay, let's just wait that out before I ascend because that is just going to allow him to out heal me. So there, now it's over. I see him go in for a cyclone type of thing. So I'm like, okay, this is the prime time. We're setting up Doomwind's Wolves and let's go. And we just start wailing into the DK and he falls over. I think the druid was feared or something, or CC'd or something, so he couldn't react, but I knew he had nothing left considering the fact that he had used ancient lore or whatever. So here it's myself and the Ret Pally versus the Resto Shaman this time. And the same plan, we want to go for the DK, but we do have to be very careful of their goes. And with a Resto Druid, like I said, they don't have the best counter healing to Big Burst. As you can see, the Ret Paladin is definitely falling over. And I have to be very careful about when I use my defensive, or else I'll be the target next. So here we get quite a bit of pressure onto the DK, but we don't really get much of cooldowns out of the Resto Shaman. He's doing a great job at keeping him alive without using Tide or Link. Actually, I think he did use Tide, maybe. I'm not sure. But the same plan goes. We want to focus on the DK. But our Druid is playing very, very aggressive, which I don't blame him because he knows he has to make these matches as short as possible. But with myself, I need the match to last 2 minutes. So that's the main goal, right? Once the match lasts 2 minutes, I can there's my chance of winning goes up significantly, right? So, and with a Ret Pally, it does kind of get a bit easier with that because Ret Pallies do have a significant amount of utility they can use for their team. So here I see the fear from the Demon Hunter, so I go ahead and tremor that for my Druid, and we're looking pretty safe. We got 45 seconds, so I'm just like, okay, we're almost there. The DK is getting pretty low. There's the Tide again from the Resto Shaman, so I back off. And they also use Darkness, so it's also a good point to back off a little bit. Go for a Hex here, but the Shaman saw that and went for the kick. He gets a nice triple blind here, so I set up, but I don't have cap totem. And unfortunately, our resto druid got gripped in and comboed down. It was very unfortunate for him. I think he just got unlucky getting caught in that breath. But if I had had cap totem there, I think we definitely would have taken that one for sure. Um, but here it's myself and the demon hunter versus the ret and the DK. Same kind of plan, but we're actually going after the paladin here. He wanted to go for the pally, so I was like, okay. So I go ahead and kill the tide because it was in my range, and honestly, there's more damage value out of that than sending it into the DK and it getting healed. But you can see here we get him quite low, and there's bubble. Oh man, like we're looking at this, we're like, this is perfect. This is good. We're getting really early cooldowns. Great. So start connecting a little bit. We got Searing Glared. I'm on the DK still for whatever reason. I should be on the Pally, but I kill off the totems. Like perfect, great. He has no more totems. Get back onto the Paladin, doing what I can. Got my counter strike down, but they see it. They go ahead and knock it out, which is fair because you can't really leave that up. Um, but I don't think we have many more Paladin cooldowns to go through. So once the 2 minute mark hits, I think we can definitely. I was thinking, okay, we're looking really, really good here. So our druid is getting a bit struggle, so I top him off with a little heal. I am using the bonus heal out of the Stormbringer talent, so it's definitely huge. There is the spell warding from the paladin and my tier set proc, so it's like, okay, great. He just used Searing Glare too, so that means perfect. I have a perfect opening for my Ascendants. So now it's just to stay alive, which is definitely getting tough because these guys are doing a massive load of damage with us. So you can see the Demon Hunter's doing a great job getting them grouped up. They drop Tide, they drop Earthbound, or whatever it's called, Stone Skin. And then they get a nice little setup. I go ahead and knock them perfect. Go for a little Hex, but I end up missing. The Demon Hunter falls quite low. I start falling a bit low, so I go ahead and wall. And then the Frost DK goes after our Druid. So I'm thinking, okay, great, we got this, we got this. And then our Druid just unfortunately fell over. We were right there, just 4 more seconds, and I think we had that. I definitely think I had the option to Earth grab him, which I definitely should have, or little spot heal. It was. I think I could have helped him out a lot more than I did. That's for sure. But again, here we are, Demon Hunter and myself versus Ret Pally DK, and the same plan is to go after the Ret Pally as much as possible. But after seeing the Resto Druid fall over a couple times after a couple swaps in the late game, we definitely have our eye a little bit on the Druid. So that's what we want to look out for. So if he puts himself in an awkward position, we definitely want to capitalize on that. But here, the Ret Pally goes very, very far, which is kind of interesting. So he went after the Tide Totem. So I go ahead and drop a Counter Strike, which they don't seem to notice quite yet. So it's getting a lot of value there. Huge value, and it finally goes down. So I go ahead and interrupt the Cyclone because the Druid is very aggressive with his Cyclones, that's for sure. And the Demon Hunter's doing a great job of putting pressure on him, just quick little swaps, which is great. But I don't believe anything until the 2 minute mark happens. I don't think I can even help out until then, as you can see by the damage. But you see here we put the paladin in a very awkward spot using the knock and everything, which is perfect. So this forces out a lay on hands, which is great. So that's one cooldown gone. Perfect. Nice and easy. Here's Searing Glare, so I'm thinking, okay, 40 seconds until Ascendant. Perfect. He's got nothing he can do to me. That's awesome. So we just gotta survive. So I'm kind of peeling back, trying to get away from them, try and keep us alive. Stall out the match as much as possible. The Demon Hunter gets very, very low, so I spot him with a quick heal. Thankfully, it's doing a lot of healing thanks to the hero talents. It's crazy, but I end up falling off a little bit here, taking a lot of damage. So I pop my Stone Bulwark. So I'm just like, please, 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 we just gotta survive. So we're going after it. I see the druid is looking very sus to me, so I'm like, okay, he looks like he wants to go on the offensive here. So right here, he is going to jump after my shaman. So I'm getting ready. I go ahead and pop burst anyways. It bubbles off. There's Searing Glare. I'm like, crap, I didn't think I was going to be up. But it falls off after the stun, and we're able to bring down the Ret Pally. were just able to do it. It was just so lucky. It was like all these matches could swing either way. It doesn't really matter. I know the druid was definitely down in the dumps about this, but I think he did a phenomenal job. Uh, but anyways, same plan here. Myself and the DK. One of a terrifying matchups is for us. So we put a lot of pressure on their whole team. Like we got a lot of pressure on the druid. There's spell bop. There's also ancient lore as well. So I'm just thinking, all right, that's a perfect opener. Second 2 minute go, game over. It's game over. There's no way they live that, right? So here I see the cyclones going off, so I'm getting ready to interrupt those as much as possible, but I can't get all of them, unfortunately. So we're putting all of our pressure onto this ret pally, seeing what we can get. The druid gets a cyclone, definitely being very annoying to our resto shaman, which makes sense. So have to be very careful here. Get another kick onto the druid, making sure that his clones are not being put to any use. So we get a nice little double cap totem from the resto shaman. We don't really get a huge amount of value out of it, but you can see the mana bar of the resto druid is definitely falling. But I don't think that's really what our win condition is here. The DK gets very, very low. I get very scared. I'm starting to fall off, so I use a little heal on myself, and we're able to stabilize a little bit, but it's still terrifying. So I go ahead and thunderstorm, get them off of us. I want to make sure we're still alive. There's ancient lore, and I'm thinking, okay, 30 seconds, that's all we need. We just gotta survive. Okay, 30 seconds and it's game over. So we're getting very, very low. It is terrifying. I missed a kick on the cyclone, which sucks. So the shaman gets cycloned, which he does a great job at pulling back, making sure he's close for a link, just in case. Here's darkness from the demon hunter, and I'm thinking, oh, this is perfect. 20 seconds on our doom winds and everything. So I sent a little bit of damage, terrify the druid a little bit, but the DK gets very close. So I'm just sitting there spamming heals, and he does a nice link just in time. Perfect. Okay. That let us survive just long enough. So here it is. Next burst. I see the druid, and I'm thinking, oh, he's open. No hots on him. Send it and pop ascendance. Off we go. And this is where the DK grips him in. He can't cast anything, and he goes down, thankfully. But I was surprised at how close they had us. We were definitely terrified. But again, same plan here. We want to kind of go after the ret pally. It was definitely something interesting, but we were definitely terrified. But you can see here a huge amount of damage, and I'm thinking, oh crap. So he can't really do anything to the druid while he's in this ancient lore form. And the resto shaman already went ahead and burrowed right away. So I go ahead and kill his tide totem right away, get that out of the field, because that is a huge amount of value for a resto shaman. And there's a lay on hands from the ret pally as well. So we got a lot of cooldowns. That's tide, that's ascendance, that's burrow. So we got a lot, right? So here we start getting pressure. We're starting to feel the pressure for them. So I use my defensive astral wall and just trying to survive a little bit. The demon hunter makes a quick little small swap onto the resto druid, but he doesn't quite get anywhere. So I back off a little bit, drop my counter strike, heal up the DK as much as I can, and the resto druid quickly tops him in less than a second. I don't know what he hit him with, but it was definitely a big heal. But we kept him alive. There's spell warding, so I'm thinking, oh man, this is great. This is great. We're not even close to ascendance, so it's quite terrifying that they're burning all these defensives early. So we just gotta stay. So put a little bit of pressure onto the resto shaman. The DK's doing a great job of gripping him in every so often, making sure that he knows he should be terrified. So I go for a little hex, get interrupted. Oh well, is what it is. Kick him back, get his healing wave, and we're just kind of we're stalling it, right? We want to stall. I want to stay alive as much as possible, so I'm trying to just spend and heal, spend and heal, spend and heal. That's all I'm trying to do, and just to stay alive and help my resto druid keep us up. So we're getting close, and this is when I'm starting to think, okay, DK backs off a little bit, so I'm gonna stay in the combat. Right, I don't want them chasing after us. I don't want them putting the DK in danger, and he's doing a great job at standing back, making sure that we're not both getting cleaved because it's easier for a druid to heal one target than it is two. DK gets very terrifyingly low, so I stop and just start healing him with healing surges. There's Bubble, so I'm thinking, okay, Bubble's about to fall off. I pop everything, back off just a bit, see the Bubble fall off, send the Ascendant. He's getting close and close and close, and I'm like, oh, he's not gonna fall over. And then boom, tear set proc, more Tempest, boom, down he goes. We take it. We take a 4-4-2. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!